Hi guys, welcome back to Be Adventures. We've got an interesting one today. So it's one of the most common questions I get, which is why I wanted to answer it well and also give some practical tips, as usual. The question is, how do I travel so much? And I think a better question is, how do you save money? So that's what this video is about today. And I took my time. I've been wanting to make this video for years actually, because it's such a common question that I get. But I wanted to do it well. I wanted to think of, what are some practical tips and things I can share with others so you can use it for whatever you like, whatever your goals are, be it to travel or to acquire things or whatever, right? People see my travel series, that's probably why you're watching this video, or if you haven't, I have many different travel videos. And I think that's all I do, right? Usually I have to work a day job, there's other things going on, but that's just the nature of social media. We're allowed to enjoy it, but what we see is usually entertainment. It's highlights, just highlights of our lives or pieces of entertainment. So we also need to realize that difference. There's nothing wrong with enjoying entertainment, but it's entertainment. It's not real. There's a big difference between real life and just seeing some highlights, so just get that out of the way. So a little bit about myself. I have a professional background as a business advisor, and I've had a good 10-year corporate career. So I've been very hesitant to sort of mention my professional working life, and I might talk about it more in future, but just to give you all a general idea that I've worked as a professional business advisor, the real corporate career. So some people say, I quit my job and I quit my corporate career, and they worked for like 6 months or 1 year, 10 years is a serious try, 10 years is a serious career working path, so I put myself through school. I paid for my bachelor's degree, an advanced diploma, and then a master's degree, and then more qualifications after that. So you can see I've had that professional career path, not just work experience, but also building up more qualifications. And I had to pay for all that. I put myself through school. So just let that sink in, because some people don't quite appreciate what that means. And I've certainly had a very expensive education. That was one of my goals, to continue building up my education. And I had to work towards it. I mean, my parents didn't pay for it. I didn't get no trust fund like you see in the movies. It's just silly in the movies. Yeah, I didn't really get sponsorship. There might have been times I might have had a little bit of help because of a workplace. They wanted me to study a certain subject or specialty skills. So of course, being a good workplace, they might offer some training or some partial payment, just for 1 or 2 subjects, something like that. But yeah, I paid for the majority myself. Yeah, and it wasn't easy too. I had to take breaks. So, I might work full-time and study part-time at night, night school sort of thing, or vice versa. I might study more, focus more on just trying to get the studies out of the way, and then work less. And then you're sacrificing your income. So it's certainly not easy. It was very difficult, very challenging. But again, I'm just a bit crazy, you watch my videos. And it's just something I wanted to get done. And it did obviously help me build that career path, so not just formal education, but also work experience, balancing the both. People even ask me about it. I mean, that was a lot of sacrifice. Studying every night. I had to quit computer games. I had to quit TV. I stopped watching TV and anything that was taking up my time. I had to spend all my spare time studying or working. Yeah, there's no shortcuts. There's no shortcuts. You have to do the work. That never changes in life, I mean, there's people that try to slip through the cracks, try to cheat, and it does come out, or it will backfire on you later. So I'm not recommending it for everyone. I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm just giving a bit of background information on me. So, I'm crazy like that. I did it. You go a bit crazy, you lose a few brain cells when you're just like a workaholic like that, and you don't really get much breaks. I certainly, as I said, built up that career path and did well. I'm certainly very grateful that I got some good work along the way and met some awesome people, and built up some great work experience. So I guess that brings you on to the next point. So don't worry guys, we're going to get into the practical side very soon, but I just want to get this starting stuff out of the way, and it is helpful. Alright, so you got to try and find a balance between your logical side and your emotional side. We often point to our head, our logical, rational side, and our emotional side, our heart. They're both parts of us. They're both our sides, but they're part of us as people, but often we can lose control of either one. So you need to try and find a balance. That way he can make more logical and rational decisions, you know, or intellectual side. That's the word I was looking for. And I'll give you guys a really simple example. I mean, always look at who's giving you the advice. Always look at who's giving you the advice. That's why I wanted to share just a little bit more about myself. And like I said, maybe I'll reveal more about my career later, but just right now, just, you know, so we can keep going. I don't have a problem with builders, and I don't have a problem with lawyers. I don't have a problem with professionals and tradespeople. But just a simple example, a friend was getting very hyped up and excited. Oh, this builder said he's going to sell me this property, and it's a great bargain, and I'm going to be a millionaire, and blah, 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 and I have to go talk to his lawyer. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Look at who's giving you the advice. And what's he telling you? He's telling you it's this great deal. You're going to be like a millionaire, you're going to get rich quick, and then you got to talk to his lawyer and write up this contract and whatever. I mean, look at who's giving you the advice. He's a builder, and I'm not saying anything bad about builders. That's fine, he builds houses. But he ain't no business advisor. And he started giving tax advice as well, tax and legal advice. And I said, just ask him, is he qualified in tax? Is he qualified in legal? You know, is he a lawyer or accountant as well? No, of course not. So can you see? Logically or intellectually, it's not logical. It doesn't make sense. Why is this builder giving tax advice and business advice? His specialty is building houses. He specializes in residential, maybe even commercial, but he specializes in construction, in the building industry. That's awesome. Maybe he kicks ass. He's the awesomest, best builder. What's he doing giving tax advice and legal advice and all this stuff? So, you know, always ask, who's giving the advice? And then ask the next question, who benefits? Because he's trying to sell a product. He's been incentivized. He gets an incentive. He wants to sell his product, his building, you know, his property. Who else gets paid? The lawyer. You got to talk to his lawyer, his connection. The lawyer gets paid. So those two get paid no matter what. So they're going to tell you whatever to sell their product. Now you go in understanding that, that's fine. That's fine. If you can make a rational or intellectual decision and you understand it, that's fine. But he went in very emotional. Oh, I'm going to get rich quick. This is going to be awesome because I'm hooked up with this builder and the lawyer, and it's going to be, you know, perfect, and it's going to be all this way. And it's like, already I knew it was trouble. You see? Because they've been incentivized to sell him something. So they're going to say whatever they can, whether it's correct or not. And by the way, long story short, it didn't work out and he lost a lot of money. So you see, I'm not making fun. I'm not making small of anyone. But again, just trying to find that balance. And that's a golden nugget right there, but I just wanted to start with that. So let's keep going. Write things down. Okay, it's a form of action. That's why I got a pen and I got my notes here in paper. Even hard copy to this day. It doesn't need batteries. It doesn't need electricity. Go get a pen and paper. It's very affordable. I'm sure you can go find it. You probably have some lying around right now. And if you don't, go out and buy some. You know, just get a writing pad or a notebook and a pen. Now, what you can do is pause the video, hit the pause button or whatever, and go get it right now. Start taking notes. It's a form of action. And it's been scientifically proven. When we write, it changes the way we memorize and learn. So for you, if it works to type on a smart device, a laptop, or your phone, whatever, great. But there's still something to be said about pen and paper. It's still so powerful because it changes the way we learn and memorize. So, hey, if that's a tool or a tip right there, use it. You know, no shame in it and nothing wrong with it. And it's very flexible. You can write all over your paper and do whatever you want, you see. So if you did it, awesome, congratulations, you're already winning, right? You already took action, awesome. So let's keep going. I can tell a quick story, you know me and my stories, right? I was clearing out some old files and, you know, old storage boxes, and oh my goodness, some of this stuff's 10 years old, 12 years old. And I found like this treasure map paper, you know, like brown soiled paper, like in the pirate movies, the treasure movies, you know? And I blew the dust off it. And I laughed. Because it was just this old rickety bit of notepaper. And it was my goals. There were goals I had from 10 years ago, 12 years ago, just these ridiculous goals. And I just couldn't believe it because I was obviously younger and maybe less mature, and I'd achieved them. I'd actually achieved them all. I couldn't believe it. I was like, no way, you know, like I wrote that so long ago. So that's the power. Because you wrote it down, even subconsciously or even consciously, you remember it. And there's a higher chance you'll complete that goal or achieve that goal. Yeah, some of them were ridiculous, but anyway, that's a story for another time. But I did it, and you can see that through my travel series as well. That was obviously a big part of it, that I wanted to travel. So anyway, let's keep going. All right, so now we're going to talk a little bit about budgeting. And it's especially important for achieving your goals. And I also find, because, you know, I've got this business and finance background, it's really not taught that much in schools. And I was very lucky that I had very, at times, passionate teachers. They cared about us as students. They cared about the content they were teaching us. And they were like, yo, you need to learn this stuff. Like, these are life skills. These are survival skills. And even the practical stuff I'm going to share with you now. So don't worry, I'll get to the point. But it occurred to me that it's such an issue, because if you haven't specialized, if you haven't studied like business or something, you may not have ever been exposed to it. And I've seen it cause a lot of problems, like in business that I've done, in clients and customers that I've had, colleagues that I've worked with, where they just were totally aloof. They just didn't have the skills, and to the point where it affected business projects or affected their own personal lives. So the definition, you know, what is a budget? Okay, so what is budgeting or a budget? It's an estimate, often itemized, or expected income and expenses for a given period in future. Alright, so I know, a bit of a dictionary explanation. Let's just start easy. I know, just for the noobs, you know, for people that are very new to it. And, you know, we shouldn't be embarrassed. Don't be self-conscious or embarrassed. Great opportunity to learn, you see. And I'll get that out of the way. I'm not an expert. I'm a student, you see. I can take breaks, I can take it easy, but I still keep learning. You still have to keep learning, right? So don't be embarrassed if it's new to you, you know. Hey, awesome, you get to learn something new. And if you're already familiar, get to refresh, right? Provide a sum of money for a particular purpose from a budget. So there's another definition there. And here's the problem I'm talking about. Most people think it's like Hollywood, right? That's the problem. We get entertained, we get televised, we think it's going to be like Hollywood. Some big fancy rich fairy tale, some big score. It's Hollywood, it's entertainment. We're allowed to enjoy it. I love Hollywood movies, right? But it's entertainment, it's not real. Real life doesn't work that way. Yeah. Again, that's maybe the misconception, that people think it's this big score. People even say to me, oh, you must be rich, or you must have, whatever, had some big score or something. It's like, no, I'll tell you how I did it. Like, and I'll get to that, specifically how I did it. But the problem is, if someone's just believing it's like Hollywood, if they have this belief in their head, it can be very hard to change that belief, or it's up to them. It's up to them to wake up and decide to maybe learn something new. Alright, so even worse, I mean, some people think about cheating others. They think to get ahead in life, you got to cheat others, or lie and scam, and false face, showing off. False face meaning, you know, just doing things to show off, you know, faking it. You know, there's that saying, fake it till you make it. It's a big misconception, because the famous or wealthy people that have said it, they were always very hardworking people. So they didn't need to fake it. They were always going to work hard and do well for themselves. But, you know, that's a story for another time. Anyway, so I'll stop babbling on. Go ahead, clear your mind, take a deep breath. If you want to know how I did it, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you how I did it, right? So the whole point is, I just wanted to get those little, you know, bits and pieces out of the way, just to sort of clarify things a little more and get us better positioned so we can talk about the practical stuff. So if you're still listening, you're still here, you haven't zoned out, I'll just tell you the secret. For me, the secret has been discipline. I know it sounds simple, right? But it's discipline. That is what has been key. If you have the discipline, you can always achieve your goals. You can achieve whatever you want. But, you know, it's very easy to get sidetracked or give up or go, you know, it's not working, whatever. So discipline. So what does that matter, right? I'll share something more practical then. It's an acronym, OPA. OPA, OPA. It's an acronym. I want to give a shout out to Tony Robbins. I don't know him. Maybe I can meet him one day. He's awesome. Go ahead and take a look at his work. He's very, very good. But just want to give credit where it's due. You know, unlike people bullcrapping and stealing credit from other people's work, you know, you got to give credit when it's due. The O stands for outcomes. Outcomes first. Right? Outcomes always come first. The P stands for purpose. Purpose is your why. Why are you doing it? And then the A stands for action. Go ahead, finally take action. And the reason why this is so important it's too easy to just come up with all these action items and all this list and all this noise and all these distractions. So that's a golden nugget right there. By using OPA, if you know your outcome first, what does it matter? You see? So just say someone comes to me and goes, look, I'm trying to finish this business project, you know, blah, 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 blah. Oh, there's all this noise, you know, what outcome are we looking for? Can you see? What outcome are we looking for? Okay, so you got this business project, you want to do these things, and okay, right, and now you're trying to add it all up and seeing if it's profitable, right? So that's the outcome. We're just trying to do like a business plan for this business project to see if it's profitable, right? So that now we even got our purpose, we even got our why. It's a business plan, so we can work out if this business is profitable, and the action, go ahead and start writing the business plan, or go ahead and start putting it together. So you see, by knowing our outcome, we can better brief the staff, we can better brief on the project, and we can know where we're going. So anyway, just a little practical example there. But yeah, that's gold. That's gold. I've been using that a lot, and that really works. All right, so let's move on now, and I'll share the practical tips. All right, guys, thank you for listening so far. You know, I just wanted to lay some groundwork and foundational work, and hopefully you found some golden nuggets or some great tips in there. So let's start talking about 12 practical money-saving tips. Use what works for you. You know, have a play with it. You know, keep trying. Maybe use different methods or different techniques in your area. But all right, let's get started. Number 1, identify your goals. Make realistic goals that can be measured. Right? That's really important. That way you know what you're working towards. You know, there's nothing wrong with having audacious, crazy goals, but if you're not really going to achieve it, then what's the point? Focus on something you can achieve and actually measure. Look into it, take your time, do your research. It's like laying a foundation. For the longest time, if you're building a foundation for a house, it looks like nothing's happening. But things are happening, the groundwork's being laid. That way, when the foundation is ready, you can just build a house very quickly, any building you want. But without that foundation, the whole house is going to fall down. Right? So it is important to go through that planning stage first. Like what I was saying about OPA. So I actually had braces twice in Australia, very expensive. You know, I had a lot of dental problems, and it actually cost me over $6,000 Australian. After some research, so I was already taking treatment. I didn't realize I could have gone on a payment plan. There was different options available, and I didn't have to pay it all up front. So had I known that, I would have got braces earlier, and also would have been more affordable and easier on cash flow. So I spoke to my orthodontist about it because I was saying, look, you know, I can't afford, you know, paying it all up front and whatever. And he was like, oh, relax. He's like, it's okay. You just make a small upfront payment and then go on a payment plan. And he said, if it's ever too much, he goes, I like you, you know, we got along very well. He goes, you're a working professional, you know, you're not a kid, you're paying for this yourself. It's fine. Just pay me what you can afford. Obviously, you will eventually pay it off, but I'm not here to send you bankrupt. I'm not here to make your life worse. And braces are very painful, you see. So I had traditional back braces. So he's like, chill out, relax. You just pay me what you can afford, okay? And any problems, don't be afraid to talk to me. You know, I've got enough work, I've got enough clients, so I'm not in a rush to collect from you, sort of thing. Also, I wanted to go Invisalign. Invisalign are like a mouth guard, a clear mouth guard type braces. That way it's not noticeable. And again, back to OPA, he was like, look, what's our outcome here? What are you trying to do? And I said, well, I want to get braces, straighten out and fix my teeth. They were very crooked and I was very self-conscious about it. You know, we had that professional discussion and we did modeling and x-rays and everything. He said, look, if you just want to get your teeth straightened out, traditional braces, even though they're metal brackets glued onto your teeth with the wires, he said, yeah, it's discomfort and it's, you know, maybe you don't like the look, but it's going to get the job done faster and more affordable. At that time, Invisalign in Australia was like $12,000, $13,000. So he's like, man, don't waste your money because you're just going to spend double. It's going to take twice as long, maybe 3 years, 4 years. Just get traditional braces, year and a half. You see, 1.5 years, and true to his word, that's how it worked out. Year and a half, it was a bit of discomfort, you know, but then my teeth got fixed. Got that $1 million smile, you know, and it also saved me money. And also he was cool about it, just went on an affordable payment plan. Awesome, you see. I know I spoke for a bit there, but can you see the difference when you plan it out? Focus on your outcomes first, you know, have achievable and measurable goals. So right there, my goal was to get braces, try to get it done in about a year and a half, 2 years, and hopefully do it affordably, so not have to pay $6,000 or $7,000 up front. There you go, achieved my goals. You know, and obviously worked very well with my orthodontist, you know, where he was happy to work with me to help me get to my goals, you see. But, you know, we can't read minds. You have to learn to communicate that, you know, or articulate what you actually want. You know, people can't read your mind, so that's a very important one there. Okay, so anyway, number 2, learn basic budgeting. That's why I was talking about it earlier. What is coming in and what is going out. You could do it weekly, like what's your weekly salary, or if you get fortnightly or monthly, what's coming in and what's going out. Okay, so, you know, even just roughly, again, write it down. You know, your take-home pay is X amount a week or fortnight or month. What's the rent? So in Australia, we tend to work weekly or fortnightly, but other countries I've noticed tend to use monthly, which is a good thing. Monthlies are really good if you can get up to that stage. So you just use what works for you see. You might be a shift worker, so you're used to weekly because you work shifts and you get paid every week, something like that. So anyway, yeah, rent, utilities, you know, water, gas, electricity, work it out. What does that cost me per a month? And then hopefully you can divide it, like by 4 weeks. That's what it costs you per a week. You see, and you can start playing with it. So you can start to work out what's coming in and what's going out. Groceries, that also includes vices. So if you like drinking, smoking cigarettes, we'll talk about that later, but, you know, even account for it. I know it sounds silly, but you're better off trying to account for it or budget for it so that you're not constantly struggling, going, why am I always out of money? Why have I got 3 credit cards maxed out? You get what I'm saying? Okay, and even better if you can use an Excel spreadsheet. Excel's great because it's a programmable calculator, right? So give it a try, just play around with Excel. There's plenty of information online as well, and, you know, free training info, but play with Excel. It's a great calculator, that's why. And you can make charts and graphs if you want as well. Now, you know, with smartphones, lots of smartphone apps and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, just see, don't be afraid to play with it. Use what works. But I used to see guys literally just get a paper pad like this, a notepad, and just write it down. And just adjust it, you know, per a week or month, and that worked. If that works, hey, that's how you get ahead, you know? Because you actually wrote it down and you took action. You didn't just go, oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I should really do that. You know, there's a big difference between talking about something and doing something. All right, so number 3, let's get serious. Start a goal fund. You know, open up a savings account. You might even use a piggy bank. You know, I don't know about you guys. When I was a kid, I had a little, you know, piggy bank and put coins in there. Hey, if that's how you get started, do it. I actually knew a guy who was an older bloke, and just being an older gentleman, you know, he didn't like bank accounts, he doesn't like internet banking or phone banking, so he's very physical, you see. And why that's so important, at least he knew that about his own personality, and he did something suitable for his personality. So he got a bunch of envelopes, and whenever he could save, he would put in, just say it's $50 a week in an envelope, he'd write the date on it, you know, lick it, seal it up, and he'd lock it in his safe. You know, I know it sounds funny. And then maybe this week, he didn't go out, he didn't do much, so he put $100, locked it up in his safe. At the end of the year, he'd get out this big thing of envelopes, I know it's very physical, and he had this stack of envelopes, you know, all tied up together with a rubber band, and he'd open them up in Canarall, and then he'd go, right, where am I going on vacation? So that's how he took his yearly vacation leave or holiday leave. He'd save up the cash. That's just him, he likes physical cash. And then he'd save it up and go, awesome, this is my budget for my next vacation. So I just found that really interesting because that was a very real example, and obviously it worked for that gentleman. But yeah, open a savings account if you can with a bank, you know, reputable bank. And then also out of sight, out of mind, you can just transfer the money electronically on your phone, your computer, and maybe you make a little bit of interest too, bank savings interest. I was talking about this earlier, cut back on vices. Cut back on vices, my lord. Smoking, alcohol, illicit drugs, gambling, right, all these vices. back when I was a smoker, so I used to be a chain smoker, I would spend at least $100 a week, usually more, 120, 150 on cigarettes, just smoking stupid cigarettes. And I looked much older back then too. I was very haggard, very stressed, you know, working too much, chain smoking. So obviously quitting improved my health. Quit smoking if you can. If you're a smoker, please try and quit, right? Take care of yourself. But I went, hey, wait a minute. Remember, I used to spend at least $100 a week on cigarettes. I'm going to put that into a savings account. So I did it. See, I took action. I didn't just go, oh yeah, awesome, whatever. I was every week putting $100 into a savings account. $100. Remember, I was wasting it on cigarettes anyway. Awesome, I quit smoking, put it in a savings account. So do the math. It's really simple. $100 a week by about, let's say, 52 weeks a year. You can even say 50, meaning I don't have to do it every time, but try to be consistent. Have that consistency and discipline. So I stuck with it. Boom, 5 grand. 1 year, quit smoking, 5 grand. Awesome. Maybe I'll go traveling. You see? That alone, just quitting smoking and saving that money on a savings plan for myself. Awesome. You know, I used it to pay off my student loans first. That was actually the first goal. It paid off the student loans, paid off all those debts. And then once they're all paid off, yeah, started traveling. So something so simple. So obviously that includes other things too. So quitting drinking, drugs, gambling. Obviously these are all stupid things, you know, try not to do them. The reason why I have a friend I grew up with, so I knew him very closely, knew him very well, and he lost everything. You know, they had 4 cars, he and his wife, a motorbike, a house, you know, under mortgage, 2 young children. They lost it all. Gambling junkie, gambling and drugs. You know, it's really sad. So all that time building up their lives, you know, it was all for naught. Just gambling and drugs ruined their life. You know, so, oh well, you know. But, you know, my point is, you know, you got to be careful. Like, you hear these stories, but it's real. That happens, you know. Okay, so moving on. Number 5, learn to cook. It's a survival skill. Male or female, young or old, don't matter. All right, learn to cook. That way you can bring your own lunch to work. It might be leftovers in a plastic container. Can you imagine, I was just crunching the figures, spending $30 a day on 3 meals a day, eating out. So just say even I budget, shop around $10 a meal, takeaway. Or I could spend $15 a day to eat 3 home-cooked meals, be it sandwiches, you know, nice sandwiches, meals at home, whatever. So you can see how much you could save there. So just say for me, that's roughly 50% on food. So, well, I'm still eating well. Maybe some of you have seen my cooking videos. You know, I'm eating well, eating whatever I want, steaks, whatever. But yeah, saving about 50% just on food by not eating out all the time. And you still can, just not all the time, you know. Again, more money you could shave off from your budget. So again, remember we're talking about budgeting. If you're earning, just say for example, very simple, like $600 a week or $700 a week, you know, you're like, well, it's too tight. Well, this is how you find money. You shave off money from your budget. So by not eating out, save money, you know, by quitting smoking, save money, you know, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and suddenly you start to come up with more funds and do something with it. Put it in a savings account. Number 6, bottled water. I know that sounds funny, but this is actually a really good one. Look into filter solutions. So I actually do that here at home. I have a water urn, and it uses water filters, you know, like Brita, like a Brita water filter. And then it's got a little tap on the side. And that's just a standalone urn. You can get water filters built into your house taps, you know, so on and so forth, or jugs, water filter jugs. You just fill up the jug and it's got a water filter built in. But if you can, you know, find these solutions. So instead of buying bottled water, use your own filtered water at home. And you can get many types of drinking bottles, fill them up, take it to work or whatever, or carry it around with you, and there you go, save some money and also be good to the environment. But yeah, don't underestimate that one. That's pretty big. I know people that spend a lot of money on bottled water. You know, they're always just buying it out from the shop or down the road or near work. Yeah, so, and your workplace might have already done it. Your workplace might already have water filters installed and things like that. So just bring a drinking bottle, a water bottle, and just fill it up, you know. Okay, number 7, couponing. Now, I've actually really been trying to get more discipline with this, and it's working. It's really kicking butt. Couponing. Now, I come from maybe an older background where we used to have the coupons in the magazines and the newspaper, you know, the physical coupons, sure. But couponing also means digital coupons, and that's still a thing. Like, we still call it coupons. But to give you an example, you know, I was talking about water filters. I didn't bother, and I bought $30 in water filters, and there was a 10% off online deal. And because I didn't enter the coupon code, I didn't get my 10% off. Now it's $3. Who cares, right? I wasn't worried about $3. I just needed the water filters. I just went, I've got to get it done. I keep forgetting, I'm just going to get it done now. So paid online, got my water filters, and they were at my door in a couple of days. Because I just needed it for my house to filter water. So $3 like that, don't stress. But I recently bought a very expensive Optima car battery. It's a long life, deep cycle battery. So I need that battery to run my car. Without it, the car doesn't work. Locally, they're about $300. So again, I was like, yeah, not a problem. And I was calling around and vendors didn't have it. So my point is, finally I found an online vendor in Australia, an Australian vendor, you know, car store. I'll call them up and I just said, look, do you actually have this battery in stock? And they checked and they said, yep, sir, we can send that to you right now if you want. And I said, yeah, cool. So this was online. I found a coupon to use with that vendor. I got 5% off. So you may think, so what, right? $300 battery, that's $15. See? And it adds up. What else did I use it for? You know, I got computer parts. Again, I needed these computer parts to fix the computer, to rebuild it. Something as simple as a 20% off voucher. I found again a 20% off coupon code, and the computer parts were about $200, so $40 off. $40 off. So can you see how it's adding up? $20 here, $40 there, $15 there. It's adding up. So I've already saved several $100s just by doing that just in the last year or two. You know, so you don't need to go crazy, but these were things I was going to buy anyway. You never know. You know, take the time to check couponing. And also, you know, like I said, don't stress out. Like I even shop at a certain grocery store, Aldi. You know, I'll just mention who it is, Aldi in Australia. And sometimes they're so affordable, you don't need coupons. They don't have any coupon or membership system. That's why they're like, we're affordable. You just come in and buy our goods. That way you don't have to worry about memberships and coupons. So they're very smart, actually. So, I mean, that's just shopping smart. Yeah, and there's other things like, you know, frequent flyer points, flybys, you know, credit card points. You get what I'm saying. But if you do it consistently, yeah, you can get serious results. I'm already seeing that. And I didn't really care before, but now I am because I'm noticing the difference, yeah. All right, moving on. Find free things to do. So you can still have fun, you can still enjoy your life, but, you know, you can go hiking, you can do sports. You know, there might be a public entertainment event, like a concert or something. You know, look around, Google it. Look on the internet, see what's going on in your area, look on social media. Yeah, like I said, music festivals, art shows, museums. You never know, right? Look around, there's things to do. So it doesn't have to mean like you be so frugal and cheap and boring. You can still be very active and whatever and live a good life, you know, but you don't always have to spend money to do it. Or you can do it very affordably. Okay, number 9. So yeah, I'm jumping around a bit. Let's get back on track. Number 9, look into specific goal-related sales. Goal-related sales. So, for example, with travel, I subscribe to some travel websites and travel brokers. So that way they'd send me online deals for hotels and flights. Even if I didn't get them, I would already have a good idea of what they're going for. So, oh, flights to Thailand. Wow, $600 return. Wow. And you click on the link or whatever, and sometimes it's not really that cheap. It's like a crappy budget flight. By the time you add food and luggage, it's like $700. But see, I'm already getting to know. What does it cost to fly to Thailand? What does it cost a hotel and different types of hotels? And then one day you might find the one you're looking for. You're like, yep, awesome, I'm just going to book it. You know, it's an awesome deal. You know, whatever your goals are, whatever you're interested in, you know, get involved in sales or ways to subscribe to sales in that area. Yeah, and it applies to other things too, like what I was saying, like computer parts, cameras. You know, that's what I'm spending my money on, technology, you know, hard drives, memory cards. Name brand clothing. I actually have a lot of very nice name brand clothing. And people often like, you know, oh, awesome, man, you know, you wear a lot of Oakley and whatever, and yeah, I do, and it's genuine. But, you know, I wait for the sales. Yeah, so that's a very common one, like after season sales. So after winter, you know, the retailers want to get rid of the winter clothing. You wait till the sale and you buy it after the season. So yes, you're buying it off season, but you get it for a really affordable price. And same with summer. After summer, they're getting rid of all the shorts and t-shirts, the summer clothing, and you get it more affordably. So, you know, if you just be patient, save your money, you can still buy really nice stuff. You just buy it for a better price. All right, number 10, stop buying stuff you never use. We've all done it. We've all been guilty of it. It's okay to enjoy life, relax, but if you let it get out of control, it can really hurt you, like big time. Yeah, like I know a guy, he bought like a $1,000 camera or $1,200 camera and he never uses it. I think he used it once. He took the DSLR, great camera, don't get me wrong, like I'd snatch that camera and use it, you know, make my own videos and photography. But he just got it to show off, like, look at my cool $1,000 camera, and you're allowed to, right? If that makes you feel better and you like to do that stuff, that's cool. You're allowed to enjoy it. But don't let it get out of control. You know, you keep acquiring these things you don't use. It's silly. Then you're just going to have to sell them and lose money later. Or you're going to be struggling for money later, you know, unnecessarily. You guys get what I'm saying. Expensive bags, you know, rooms full of shoes. I know a girl, she's my friend, you know, nice girl, but she's got a spare bedroom full of shoes. She had to rent in a 2-bedroom apartment. 1 bedroom for her to live and the other one for her shoes. And then she was even like, oh God, what have I done? So her and her mother and her sister helped her and they sold them online. I was like, congratulations, well done, because clearly it was a shoe addiction and she finally got over it and started to sell them or give them away. And she needed that room, you see, because she said, look, it's a perfectly good spare bedroom, her sister could live in it, you know. So you see, that's more important in life. She's got to take care of her sister or her family. That's a perfectly good bedroom. Why fill it with shoes, you know? Someone could live in there. Yeah, so it's sort of like, stop worrying about your social status, right? I know, guys, like I said, you know, it's easy to get self-conscious and whatever. Stop worrying about your social status. Focus on being a minimalist, right? And you can still have nice things. So if you still want to get that $1,000 camera or that expensive bag or whatever, you can actually save up and afford to buy it. But, you know, you find that balance. You know, you don't buy them all the time. You don't buy them every day, yeah? All right, so that's a good point. Moving on to the next one, number 11. Learn to prioritize and sacrifice. Prioritize and sacrifice. So kind of already talking about that. Remember, discipline is key. I mean, material things will come and go. They can always be replaced, right? But skills can last you a lifetime. They're things you can keep with you a lifetime. That's why I'm trying to get this education out or just share with some of you and hopefully it might help some of you, right? I mean, you know, this shirt will come and go. I'll wear it and maybe one day it wears out and I'll throw it away and I'll get another shirt. It's not a big deal. But, you know, keeping these skills, you know, learning skills, they're things you keep with you for life. So don't focus so much on materialism. You know, get your priorities right, make the sacrifices, get the priorities right first. Because once you got that foundation, once everything's paid, you know, it's like that simple question of, is the rent paid? Are the bills paid? Are there enough steaks in the freezer? You know, is there enough food in the fridge? Yeah, okay, then enjoy life. Whatever's left over, go enjoy, you know? Yeah, look, it's really important, and I hope I'm making it clear, it's about taking ownership of your life. Like, you're allowed to take ownership of your life. It's a positive thing, you're allowed to do it, and I fear we're not teaching our kids this, you know. I'm not a parent yet, maybe one day, but I just feel we're not really teaching people this, you know. You know, especially like clients or, you know, people that I know in person come up and they talk to me about this stuff, you know, money and saving and whatever, like how to get ahead in life. Something I like to quote to them, it's a famous quote from Jack Ma, he's a billionaire. No matter how rich you are, you can only eat 3 meals a day and sleep in 1 bed. Just let that sink in. No matter how rich you are, you can only eat 3 meals a day and sleep in 1 bed. You know? You just think about that. Sure, you can eat the fanciest meals and you can sleep in the fanciest bed. But at the end of the day, if that's all you need, 3 meals and 1 bed, you know, a roof, a shelter, a place to sleep. If that's all you need, then focus on that. Once you got that squared away, the world's your oyster. You see, you can do anything you want once you got that squared away. So that's a billionaire, right? So he can have anything he wants in the world. He's, you know, very wealthy. So the reason why I shared that quote and why I found it so powerful, Jack Ma had often said it in some of his interviews and went on to explain, even though he's a billionaire and he's very successful and wealthy, he uses that surplus to create jobs. He uses that surplus for other things. So he's got his 3 meals, he's got a very nice place to live. The rest can go to creating jobs, employing people, building up companies and things like that. So we don't need to be billionaires. We don't need to run companies and all this business stuff, but the same applies. You've got your 3 meals, you've got a good place to live and sleep. The rest you can use for whatever you want, right? So it doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need to be a billionaire, is my point. You can actually focus on living the life you want or what makes you happy, hopefully. Hopefully, that's the dream, right? Number 12, your reputation is worth more than money. Yeah? I'm not kidding. Your reputation is worth more than money. You will go on to learn and improve and achieve your goals, right? So you work at it for long enough, that's not going to be an issue. You're going to achieve them. It's just a matter of time. But don't step on other people, right? I cannot stress this point enough because it's just this misconception, like I said, from Hollywood, from entertainment, from pop culture, social media, that you got to step on other people, and cheat others. And it's really disgusting and it's not true. Because the problem is you build a reputation, right? So if you build a reputation for being a cheater and a liar, well, what's going to happen? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you're known as a liar, a cheater. Who's going to do business with you? Who's going to employ you? When you're like, guys, I really need help with this business project. Pfft, no way, right? Because that person, they got a bad reputation, you see? It's the same thing. If you lie and make false representations, you're thinking you're going to fake it until you make it. Well, everyone knows you're fake. Everyone knows you're a bullshitter. Right? Yeah, I said it. You guys know what I mean. And I spoke that way to get your attention. If you're a bullshitter, that's all people are going to know. So we don't know if you're telling the truth. We don't know if you're, being disingenuous. So we're just not going to bother, right? We're not going to waste our time with you. And you'll see. Because your reputation will precede you. A room full of people can know your reputation before you even enter it. Okay, that's even happened to me. Both positive and negative. People had been saying, this guy's got a good business reputation, blah, blah, blah. So even when I entered the room, people were already shaking my hand like, oh yeah, we heard about you, cool. And I went, oh, wow, right? I'm not saying to show off, it's because I didn't know. I didn't know someone had been putting in a good word for me, other business managers. And vice versa. I've entered business meetings where people had been backstabbing me, saying things that weren't true. So when I entered that meeting, they were already very aggressive and negative towards me. I was like, whoa, guys, what's going on? Like, this feels very aggressive. Like you guys are like hating on me, Yeah, I found out later that people had tried to get me fired. And they'd put in a bad word with these other managers. And luckily, my reputation spoke for itself. Another manager had spoken up for me going, no, you can check his work. You can check his background, do a background check. He's solid. We know him. We've never known him to be a liar. We've never known him to be deceptive. Like, we trust him. He gets work done. And he's straight. He's straight with us. He tells us the truth. So I didn't know this was happening behind my back. These managers had tried to get me fired. And the reason why they were committing fraud and false accounting, they were making up figures, trying to get extra commissions, scammers. So what do you think happened to them? They were eventually let go. No one wanted to work with them again. Like, people would swear, I swear I'll never work with them again. They're so dodgy. They're so dishonest. So can you see? Even though they were big managers and executives, no one wanted to work with them again. No one wanted to touch them. No one trusted them. And they eventually lost their jobs. It's very stressful time. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, look, the point is, guys, your integrity matters. I know it sounds maybe a little hokey now, but like I said, when you work a 10-year career, you see the difference. You notice the difference because, from that 10 years, did you build a pretty positive reputation or a negative one? That's where your references and your referrals come into play. So people can check your references and check you out and go, yeah, this guy's good. He was known for these projects or whatever. So if you don't believe me, you can use much more powerful examples, so let's use them. Look up billionaires and multi-millionaires. Look up some reputable ones. Look at Warren Buffett, multi-billionaire, you're a very wealthy man. And he's been interviewed. He's spoken a lot. He's very well spoken about. He's actually said in an interview. He goes, look, I don't do business with bullshitters. He's a billionaire. Everyone wants to do business with him. But he's like, I don't waste my time on him. That's simple. You don't need to do business that way. And he tells his own managers, very simply, do not do business that will reflect poorly upon the company. He goes, your managers, your executives, you know how to run, the different companies he owns and he's associated with, but do not do things that will ruin our reputation. That's it, simple. Either you get it or you don't. And if you don't get it, he'll remove you, or you won't last very long. Ray Dalio, love Ray Dalio. I hope I can meet him one day. He's really cool. So he's already released a lot of education information for himself. You can check out his YouTube channel, Bridgewater. I believe it's Bridgewater Associates, but I think he renamed it his name, Ray Dalio. So look up Ray Dalio on YouTube. He's already releasing lots of videos, awesome stuff, great content. Especially things like this, like modern management techniques and modern ways to deal with things, And also, his own success story. He has a book out called Principles, and as you can tell by the name, it's about principles, and ways to handle things. And remember, he's a multi-billionaire, very successful, so you might want to pay attention. Bill and Melinda Gates, very successful, again, very wealthy. And look at what they're doing at the moment. They're doing a lot of philanthropy and charity work. So they're very successful, and they even want to share that and give something back and help others. I think it's really cool. So can you see what I mean? I know this whole video has been about ways to save money and get ahead, but you don't need to do it in such a way that you lose integrity or step on other people, all right? So I'll finish up with some awesome Warren Buffett quotes. I love his quotes. They're really cool. It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things very differently. Yeah, it's true. And I love this one. This is one of my favorites, right? Another Warren Buffett quote. Honesty is a very expensive gift. Don't expect it from cheap people. Why not, huh? A bit of fun. We'll end it on a note and we can smile and laugh. So take it with a grain of salt. Smile, laugh, take it with a grain of salt, but, try the tips I mentioned, use what works for you. But that's how I did it, guys. You keep asking, that's how I did it. That's how I saved money. That's how I, just use that foundation, and that helped me get ahead and do things that I wanted to and achieve my goals, Alright, if you've been watching this long, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. You'll see a graphic. If you want to see the previous video, click here. And if you want to see the next video, click here. As always, thanks for watching, and Be Adventures out.